No voice, sir.
Good evening, friends. There is a big gap of a week, 1 week. It is because I don't have a assistant at present, and that's why the problem is there. So whole day I'm busy. I could not get a time even to look after the things. That's why the big gap was there. So my suggestion to all of you is that if anyone who is interested, really interested in learning the homeopathy, please send him to me so that he can learn. So that's the thing. We were discussing regarding the Kant's philosophy, the chapter number 33, the second chapter regarding the value of symptoms. And what he wants to explain that which symptom is valuable and which is not valuable. Giving a value to the symptom is called as a evaluation of the symptoms. And in the evaluation, in earlier chapter, we have discussed the common method that mental generals are more important than the physical generals. Physical generals are more important than the particulars. And again, in mental generals, we have considered the will and emotions are more important than intellect and understanding. Intellect and understanding is more important than the memory. And in the physicals, the characteristics are important, common, or not at all useful for homeopathic prescription. And in those both chapters, he tried to explain which symptom is having a meaning. Unless and until symptom becomes general and it characterizes an individual, it is not useful for the homeopathic prescription. That comparison he was trying. He is explaining the symptoms which diagnose the case are always the common, and common never gives you a remedy. If you want to find it out a right remedy for the case, it is always dependent upon the uncommon symptoms, the characteristic symptoms. And when there is a strong characteristic present in one case, that characteristic, when it is useful to individualize the patient, it automatically becomes the general. And that's what Kent has said. So he was giving the examples that he has given the example of a sepia and or a dragging down sensation or there was a prolapsus of uterus. The common symptom is dragging down, but that is common. What is that makes the sepia as a remedy for the patient? Because murex is also there. There are many more, in fact, which are having this prolapsus uterus. So what makes the sepia for the prescription is the all the generals of sepia which should be present. Then and then only you can specifically make it a general, make it a prescription. So we have finished the paragraph of it may be advisable, a big paragraph where he has compared the sepia with the rest of the remedies, the lilium teak, the murex, nux, pulsatile and natramate, and he explained that if and only if you get the generals of the patient, then it is simple to find it out the sepia. So now we'll start with next paragraph. Many of the symptoms of the regions are both common and particular. Particular because they are of regions and common because they describe the state. So any symptom which is common doesn't have meaning. It never gives you exactly the remedy. If you want to find it out the right remedy, then you require a characteristic, then you require a general. Scarlet fever gives us an illustration of this. We would group all striking symptoms indicative of scarlet fever, the rash, the appearance of mucous membranes, the sore throat, the fever and history, the period of prodrome. The remedies for scarlet fever must have these symptoms in common with scarlet fever. The appearance of scarlet fever is among the common things of belladonna. Ailanthus has its common things, the appearance of scarlet fever. Apis has the appearance of scarlet fever. Rus has the appearance of rough scarlet fever. Sulfur and phosphorus have a rash similar to scarlet fever. So if we were make rubric for the repertory, we should put the names of all diseases in common group and call it scarlet fever. But this is not useful. You cannot prescribe for the scarlet fever because it is common. The symptoms which makes that prescription common is called as a makes a diagnosis, gives you indication for the scarlet fever, but not for the remedy. But when are you going to give one remedy and when another? We can sometimes figure out from the local manifestations things in general. For instance, you can take an arum triphyllum patient. That which appears to be the most striking is that he picks up his nose, lips until they bleed. If you examine state well, you will ascertain that these parts and fingers and the toes tingle. About the extremities where the circulation is feeble and where the nerves are abundant, in the nerves of fingers and toes, there is an unusual tingling like the creeping of ants, and he keeps picking at these parts. It is the state marking almost the whole economy. If you watch a little more closely, you will see that liquid oozes out of the parts he has picked, a bloody, watery oozing, and that it denudes the skin around the parts. It becomes a part of the general state. Then in scarlet fever with rash only partly out. We want to take language of nature. I spoke of phosphorus. Phosphorus has a typical scarlet fever rash. Suppose you have a case that is putrid. The rash has become very dusky. The skin has become mottled and purplish, and there are places about the body that have tendency to suppurate. You find there are swellings about neck, swellings about the hands and fingers that are inclined to suppurate, or there is a oozing round about them and pus is welling forth, and case is so putrid and offensive that as soon as you enter the room, you detect the horrible stench. If you examine into the case, you will see the child cannot get water enough and cannot get it cold enough. The countenance is sunken, and eyes are puffed and swollen and red. Blotches are appearing of specific character intermingled with scarlet fever blotches. There you have phosphorus case, and phosphorus will stop the trouble immediately. So, just a rash never defines the remedy unless and until it characterizes the things. And he has given the whole picture how the scarlet fever rash is present in phosphorus. It has that typical dusky root. It has the putrefaction. It has the pus formation, the sting, the offensiveness. And then you can define, yes, this is the typical scarlet fever rash of the phosphorus. He has given one more example of arum triphyllum where the patient picks up the nose and there is a lot of corroding over there and patient wants to rub, and from that rubbed area the bleeding comes and oozes and there is severe burning. Still patient burrows his head under the pillow. That state defines this is arum triphyllum, not the just a scarlet fever. So every remedy carries its own characteristics and generals with which it is very easily we can understand exactly the remedy. So the state of the patient, which is hidden inside in the individual, that we have to catch. It is not the common symptoms of the disease. So diagnosis never gives you the remedy over there. You have to find it out such symptoms. You have gathered together. Phosphorus will stop the trouble immediately. Now, what have you gathered together? You have gathered together an evidence of general state. You see running all through the case putridity and the zymotic state. You may have many cases of malignant scarlet fever, and you will find that you can manage them with your remedies as you would an unruly horse with the reins. So he is giving you exactly what exactly you want from the case. You must want that exactly the characteristics. You want from the case the generals, which defines the specifically the remedy and not the commons. So if a patient of appendicitis come with the nausea and vomiting and constipation and fever and pain in right iliac fossa, doesn't give you a remedy unless it gets characteristic presentation. So generals should be there then, and then it is possible to find it out exactly the remedy. Now, as to the grades, the value of symptom is divided into three grades. Generals are divided into three grades, first, second, third. The common symptoms and particular symptoms are divided into the same three grades. You will see in boarding questions fourth grade. But as a matter of fact, these remedies do not form a grade. They are only probationary remedies requiring demonstration by reproving and clinical confirmation. And he has given why he has made the grades in the repertory. The first grade, explained in bold, written in bold, carries 3 marks, and we have discussed on that day what exactly it means. The second grade, italics, carries 2 marks. The third grade, Roman, carries 1 mark. And why he has given the numbering? The general symptoms of the first grade are such as all or majority of provers state of themselves as a class of provers. For instance, take that symptom of apis, suffocation in a warm room. All the provers of apis, or nearly all, were affected to a great extent in that way. All the provers of pulsatilla were in a warm room. There can be no doubt about such symptom, for all the provers failed that state no so strongly. Calihydroiodicum, pulsatilla, iodine, apis are amongst those that have that symptom in first grade. Worse in a warm room, suffocation in a warm room. Now, when those symptoms which have existed as generals among the provers come into the experience of the practitioner and are confirmed by curing those states extensively, wherever administered for years, then these remedies are fully entitled to this grade. When only one prover has recorded a certain symptom, it is doubtful whether it is a symptom from the action of remedy. But when several provers have recorded same symptoms, it becomes confirmed. When that symptom has been removed or cured by remedy in the hands of physician, it can then be said to have been verified. So symptoms are number one recorded, number two confirmed by reproving, and verified, number three verified upon the seek. So if all the provers they have shown that symptom, during reproving they are confirmed, and even in the verification upon the seek, that means whenever they are prescribed, they are found to be confirmed, then that gets the 3 grades. That get the first grade and 3 marks. It is written in bold. This is what he is explaining. And it has a significance. Then you are sure, apis, yes, suffocation in hot room, pulsatilla, suffocated in warm room. These are strong characteristics of the remedies. When several provers have observed that pulsatilla is worse in warm room, and this is confirmed by other provers and then verified by cure upon seek, it immediately places pulsatilla in the first grade of that general state. Suppose that it were something that was a relation into the bladder. Pulsatilla has a symptom of frequent urination. Now that is immediately classified as a particular symptom because it relates to the region. Now, if all these provers had irritable bladder when they took pulsatilla, that would be a confirmation of it. And if it cures for years, experience verifies it, and it is then placed as belonging to the pulsatilla under the particulars and marked it highest grade. So, with the symptom of bearing down, which also comes under the pulsatilla, that would be classed as a common symptom, but of the first grade. So those symptoms which appears in all provers during proving, appears again during reproving in all provers, and they are clinically verified, then those symptoms Kent has given first grade and written in bold and carries the 3 marks in his repertory. And those might be common, those might be particular, those might be general, those might be mental general, whatever it may be. The grades means exactly the how much provers that symptom have shown that gives the grades, and this is the meaning of a grade what he wants to explain over there. Suppose now that there are more symptoms that have only been brought about by few of the provers. They do not run through the whole family of the provers, but they have been confirmed and occasionally verified. Then you see they are not entitled to so much consideration and as a matter of degree, they belongs to the second grade because not so strong as the first grade, which produces these symptoms upon everybody or nearly everybody. Of course, what is true of generals will be true of common or particular. So now he explains second grade. Out of the 50% of provers have shown that symptom, then during reproving, you get it occasionally in the provers again, and very occasionally clinically verified. Those symptoms Kent has given second grade and written in italics in his repertory, and it carries 2 marks. And this differentiation is very important. And lastly, what he says about third grade. Then, as to the third grade, now and then, provers brings out symptom, and it has not yet been confirmed by reproving, but it stands out pretty strong and seems to be worthy of third place, or it has been verified by having cured sick folks, or on the other hand, it is admitted as a clinical symptom. So sometimes you get a clinical symptom. Means what? During proving, you don't have that symptom. But you take the case and there were 10 symptoms and one symptom which is not matching to the remedy. On the basis of 9 symptoms, you have selected that remedy and you have given that remedy to the patient. And after giving that remedy, along with those 9 similar, this 10th also vanished. Then that symptom is included under the materia medica and in the repertory as a third grade symptom because it is a clinical symptom. Clinical symptoms are not symptoms. One of the prover might have shown that symptom during the proving. It is not clinically verified in reproving. And very occasionally, a clinical symptom also might be a third grade symptom. So, third grade symptoms are the symptoms which are not verified again and again, carries only 1 mark, and Kent has given them as a Roman in his repertory and labeled it as a third grade symptom. Sometimes close and careful observers have noticed that certain symptoms, not in the provings, have generally verified yielded to certain remedy, and others have confirmed this clinical experience. These symptoms are admitted to go into third grade. A great many of Bonninghausen's fourth grade symptoms really belong to the third grade because Bonninghausen was very cautious with the symptoms that had never been verified. His fourth grade remedies include such as he had gathered from his clinical experience, and he was doubtful about the propriety of placing them into third grade, and also those symptoms that occurred in the provers but had not proper confirmation or were not verified. He laid them as it were upon the shelf for approbation to be hereafter proved or accepted. And then he explained that there is a one more fourth grade is given in Bonninghausen's therapeutic pocket book. Kent's repertory, there are 3 grades. Bonninghausen has added fourth grade. And what Kent says about Bonninghausen, where Bonninghausen has clinically, Bonninghausen has clinical symptom, but which was not verified again, which was not present during the proving, but which was clinically appeared, then he has written under the fourth grade in his repertory. And he kept over there for the purpose of confirming it again and again. If it has been confirmed, then its grade might be increased. So, in this chapter, he tried to explain 2 important things. Importance of giving value to the symptoms in order to individualize the case. And second important thing, what exactly means by the first grade, second grade, third grade in his repertory, and how it, what is the meaning of it, and how it carries the marks in the repertory, and what exactly it means. So 2 chapters he has devoted to the understanding the concept of evaluation of symptoms. So we'll finish this chapter and we'll finish today's session over here. And then tomorrow, I think we have finished the main chapters from Kent's repertory, which were which are included in the second year syllabus. I'm going with second year syllabus because I want to finish that. Then I want to go with the second. session, it is not possible to conduct it today, but from tomorrow, session will be there at same time. Today, it is little bit difficult for me. There is one appointment over there. So today it is not possible. Tomorrow we'll start with the session. And most probably we'll start with the clothes, stored clothes or HA robot. I will let you know exactly what we're going to start in tomorrow's session in the organ. Okay. So that's all for today. We'll meet tomorrow at the same time with the Organon session, philosophy session. And next, we'll start with the tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock, we'll start with the materia medica session. So that's all for today. Thank you. Thanks a lot. And we'll meet again.